sneezes, respiratory droplets are expelled and can land on you. They can then easily be introduced to you if you touch your eyes, mouth or nose. We're going to try to show what happens when someone sneezes using a special camera that shoots in ultra slow motion. The sort of camera that can show a bullet being fired from a gun. This was recorded before the advice for people to avoid contact with others was issued. I've got some water with food colouring in it, so my saliva shows up better for the camera. And then we've got some ground ginger here, which I'm going to, snort really, or sniff. And the idea is that that's going to agitate my nostrils and induce a sneeze. When you sneeze, as many as 40,000 droplets are expelled from your nose and mouth. But no sneeze. For whatever reason, I just can't sneeze. But other people seem to have no problem performing for the camera. The fluid actually emerges in a sheet and breaks into ligaments, some as long as 3 centimetres and travelling up to 35 metres a second. The cloud of airborne droplets is the final stage. Virologist Elisabetta Grappelli is here to explain what it all means. So as hard as I tried, I just couldn't sneeze.
Actually, in this particular case of the coronavirus, sneezing is not really a symptom for the disease. Coughing is much more relevant to how we spread the virus. It's coughing and the temperature.
So I induced a cough instead. The nose produces between 1 pint and 2 pints of mucus a day. When all is well, that stays within the body. That is disgusting. But a cough will release 3,000 droplets of it, travelling up to 50 miles per hour. So it'd be interesting to see how far my cough travels and if we get a sense of that.
Absolutely.
Shall we have a look?
Okay, let's play and see what it's like. Show something. Oh yes, here it comes. Oh wow. Yes, it shows exactly, the kind of force that is used every time you cough, and what it does to any of the droplets of the liquids that you have in your mouth, and therefore the potential for traveling quite long distances. I think is very, very much exemplified in this particular clip.
Of course, this exercise is not scientific, but it does show the potential projection of a cough. According to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, coughing spreads droplets as far as 6 metres.
I understand that this had to be staged to make a point, but it's very realistic. When you have an infection, your lungs, your muscles around your rib cage are quite powerful.
And is the cough just a clever way that the virus actually gets out and spreads itself?
A cough is a clever way for the body to get rid of something it doesn't want. But viruses are also quite clever. They have hijacked this mechanism that the body uses to actually transport themselves, to go from one person to another one in a very efficient way.
And how worried should we be if someone does cough in front of us?
I think at the time we are now, it's quite important that we consider that a cough can be a symptom for coronavirus, and that's when we need to be absolutely careful and put measures in place to protect ourselves and others.
The effect of a virus-laden cough on a crowded train or aeroplane is something none of us wants to learn the hard way. Many countries have banned incoming flights, though the UK has yet to take this step. The World Health Organization suggests that if you do find yourself on a plane, you are at highest risk if you're within 2 rows of an infected person. However, during the 2003 SARS epidemic, 22 people were infected by a single fellow traveller, and some of them were outside the 2-row zone. In fact, some were seated as far as 7 rows in front and 5 rows behind the infected passenger.
This plane has one advantage. It is a lot of empty seats.
Anxious passengers elsewhere have not been taking any chances. Last week, a video emerged online reportedly accusing British tourists of being COVID-19 carriers.
You was the one breaking the thing, innit? You was with them. I saw
Other passengers saw them as a risk, believing them to have come from a quarantined resort.
Actually, he was the one chatting with them. You make break into the corridor.
I did not. I was.
Another British passenger argued they should just be moved to the rear of the plane.
Yes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the very back row, like in the old days when we used to smoke at the back of the plane.
The captain decided the group had to go.
Should have the speaking. Final decision is we'll depart without these passengers.
That's fine, thank you very much.
It was a popular decision.
Yippee!
So what can we do to protect ourselves in public? Face masks, once a rarity in our public spaces, and now everywhere. But what do the experts say about them?
I think a lot of the masks that people are wearing actually are more beneficial for everybody else. It stops them being infected if the person wearing the mask is coughing or sneezing.
There is no evidence that these gloves or masks out in the public are going to help.
People who are used to wearing face masks, they've been wearing them for years and they're used to that feeling on their face. Whereas if people suddenly start wearing them for the first time now and do then start fiddling around with their faces, and obviously that they do have the virus on their hands, they could then risk them being infected.
So gloves and masks are best in a clinical setting and leave them there. We are where we are. We cannot start to learn new tricks. And if you start to learn new tricks or things, that's where mistakes happen.